What up, everybody? It's your boy, the Infinite Dragon here, and today we're going to be reacting to 12 most insane Japanese school rules you won't actually believe exist. Why am I watching this? Because I'm a weeb. Let's just get into this now.
Education and schooling traditions are wildly different in various parts of the world. What is perfectly normal in the UK may be completely unheard of in Germany. And
Sure.
the rules commonly found in the Japanese education system are certainly not
It's
usual
like 3:30 in the morning
USA.
right now. I'm real tired. So if I say
Japanese
something
schools
stupid,
are
forgive me.
notoriously strict and much more standardized than many schools in Western
Sure.
countries. Nonetheless, they also net the kind of results that we in the West envy and desire to replicate. There are definitely some rules that you will find hard to believe. The question is, do they contribute to the resounding success of Japan's education system?
Okay.
Here are the 12 Japanese school rules you won't believe actually exist. Kanchoing the teacher.
What is kanchoing?
The word kancho in itself is a slang version of the word used to denote a medical enema, but refers to a children's game.
Oh, that's
believe it or not.
kancho. It's the thing that
Kanchoing is more of a
Kakashi
tradition
did to
than a rule,
Naruto.
but it's definitely something to be aware of if you plan to teach English in Japan. Kanchoing is a silly prank where someone presses their two hands together with their index fingers extended in order to prod someone, sometimes the teacher, in the behind. At this point, the student will usually exclaim, "Kancho!" As you can imagine, many people find this to be a shock when they visit Japan to teach. The Western view of Japan as a very serious and studious country is not so close to the truth as some of these rules would have you.
I mean,
No accessories. As you will soon find out, there is often a strict dress code in Japanese schools, but there is also a rule against using accessories to change your appearance.
what?
Students are prohibited from using colored contact lenses, dyeing their hair, and having unusual piercings.
What do you mean unusual
In fact,
piercings?
some schools even ban the painting of nails and the grooming of eyebrows. Furthermore, this rule holds while they are traveling to and from school in order to protect the representation of the school to the wide public.
That's kind of cruddy, though. Like, because if you're wearing a uniform, which I assume most of those schools do, you want to have some kind of, you want to express some kind of individuality and show that you're not a robot. So that's kind of cruddy.
Can you imagine how this would go down in the fiercely independent student bodies of the
Yeah,
US
that
and Canada?
would be kind of cruddy.
Students are prohibited from dating and having open relationships. Japan takes the education of its youngsters very seriously and brooks no distraction, even from other students. In junior high school in particular, this is a view which is enforced with regulation.
Okay, that's junior high school,
Junior
though.
high
That's
students
different.
are not allowed to date romantically or enter into an open relationship at all. This is to ensure that students are focused
That
entirely
makes sense.
on
I
their
mean, it's junior
education
high. You probably don't
rather
need to be
than
dating
personal
anyone
drama.
in
Considering
middle
how
school
much
anyway.
Western fiction depends on high school drama, it's difficult to fathom, right? Cell phones are not allowed to be used inside
That
the
makes
school.
sense, too.
The theme of education first is one that can be seen in all Japanese school rules. As such, you probably won't be surprised to learn that cell phones are also prohibited during lessons. However, you might be shocked to learn that they are not allowed to be used anywhere in the building at all at any time. That's right, Japanese
no,
school
that's not that
children
surprising,
are only allowed
honestly.
to use their phones outside the building before and after school, as well as during their breaks, but never within the confines of the school itself.
Yeah, it's not that surprising to me.
Strict dress code.
I mean,
Only 20%
we just
of
heard the
schools
thing about you're not allowed to use accessories, and anyway, that's not really surprising either.
in the USA have a dress code, and they are usually private schools. But in Japan, almost all schools from junior high level upwards have a strict uniform to which students must adhere. In middle schools, there is still a heavy focus on the traditional high-collared military-style suit for boys, and the B-ribbon sailor blouse and pleated skirt as seen in anime style for girls. In high schools, however, the uniform is slowly becoming more akin to those seen in the West. Tartan skirts, blouses, blazers, and ties can be seen in most
That's a
schools
nice
with
outfit.
older students. Most shocking, however, is the strict no ornamentation policy that many Japanese schools have. In many cases, jewelry, makeup, and unusual hairstyles are prohibited, and students are not allowed to alter their uniform in any
Yeah.
way, even outside school
That's
hours.
real cruddy.
In fact, there are some schools which also specify what the outerwear going over uniforms must look like. In many cases, the jackets must be navy, tan, black, or gray only, no bright colors. Furthermore, children must always be seen as neat and tidy while traveling to and from school.
Wow, that's really crappy.
Punctuality. Good timekeeping is a focus in pretty much all schooling systems, of course, but in Japan, it is taken very seriously.
Sure, I mean,
Children are expected to be in school at
why is that
8:30
guy in a
a.m. on the
stormtrooper
button,
outfit?
And if they are more than 5 minutes late, you can be sure they will be punished to a certain degree. The most common punishment is being required to come into school
really
even
clean like
earlier
that.
for cleaning duties for the rest of that
Huh.
week. This is to instill good timekeeping and an understanding of the value of time as a
I mean,
resource.
yeah, I mean,
We guess those stereotypes about Japanese punctuality aren't just rumors.
I've never
It's
heard a
behavior
stereotype
instilled
about
at a
Japanese
young age.
punctuality, but okay.
Respectful greetings.
That's just, I feel like that should
Japanese
just be a
culture is
given
one
now.
which focuses heavily on respect. Respect for authority figures and elders as well as each other is a key part of this for school children.
Sure,
As
absolutely.
such, Japanese school children greet their teachers with a bow at the beginning of their lessons and say goodbye in the same manner. This shows the teacher respect and gratitude for their hard work in providing an education.
Yeah, see, I like that actually.
The Sasumata.
What the heck is that?
American school children will no doubt be familiar with intruder drills, but in Japan, they take matters one step further by ensuring that there is something on hand to defend against violent intruders. The Sasumata is an adaptation of the ancient samurai weapon. This aluminum pole has two curved prongs at one end and is designed to immobilize an intruder. One of these can be found hanging in schools across Japan. This is interesting because Japan is a very safe country. The
Okay.
likelihood of such an attack is much lower than, for example, in Europe. No substitutes.
There are no substitutes?
Can you imagine leaving a classroom full of American junior high students unattended for a full period?
Yeah, that's...
Sounds like every teacher's worst
Right?
nightmare, right? Well, in Japan, this is commonplace. If a teacher is sick, it is very much the norm for no substitute to be called. The students are trusted to study quietly, independently, and responsibly by themselves.
Yeah, that would not happen in
Once you
America.
consider how their summer vacation works, we suppose it's not that surprising after all.
Yeah, the summer vacation's kind of cruddy too.
Mandatory swimming lessons. Japan is an island nation after all. Not
Our
only is
swimming lessons kind of, depending on what kind of high school you go to here, swimming lessons are kind of mandatory anyway. Because I was required to take swimming lessons in my high school class for my first high school. But then my second high school, they was like, so, we don't care as long as you take driver's ed. So, it really depends on what high school you go to here in America. Learning how to swim is kind of important anyway, especially in Japan because they're kind of surrounded by water. So,
part of the curriculum in Japan, but most schools actually have their own swimming pool to use. Students will swim as part of their weekly education and are required to learn how to swim a minimum distance. If they fail to meet this requirement, they need to take swimming classes in the summer to make up for it. Health and fitness are considered just as important as studying in Japan.
well, that's good.
No janitors.
Yeah, because they clean
Part
the
of the culture
classrooms
of respect
themselves.
instilled in Japanese children includes caring for their surroundings
Why is
and
she
taking
jumping?
responsibility for their actions. This is why you won't find janitors in any Japanese schools. The children and teachers are responsible for cleaning, dusting, sweeping, and mopping their classrooms, hallways, and even scrubbing the bathrooms. We bet you won't find Japanese kids putting gum under their tables or writing on their desks. They know they'll only have to clean it up later
Yeah,
on.
I like that a little bit
Summer
more.
bummer.
As a matter of fact,
Perhaps-
I was actually at the movies earlier. We were watching the movie Crazy Rich Asians, ironically. And it was in the movie theater, and I accidentally rubbed my hand on some gum that was stuck inside the drink coaster thing, the cup holder. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. I told you it's literally 3:31 in the morning, y'all. I'm tired. But yeah, if we had to clean that up, I bet you nobody would do that.
Perhaps the biggest difference between Japanese and American schools, however, is the way summer vacation is structured. First and foremost, the vacation is only 5 weeks long. That's just half the length of summer vacation in the USA.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Japanese students are also more likely to receive a lot of homework to do over the summer.
Which is
Even elementary schools have a legendary homework packet to work through during
No.
summer. Furthermore, despite being out for the summer, most Japanese students and teachers will come into school on an almost daily basis for extracurricular clubs and
No.
activities. Some might see this as a bit of a bummer, but these clubs can actually be a great way in which to spend time with a wider friend group during the summer
I mean,
months.
sure, but
So
if
as
I want,
you can see, the
if I'm going to
schooling
be out of school, I'm going to be out of school. I'm not coming back. Like the whole entire like from May to August for summer vacation would be nice, aside from the fact that I have to work. But you know, that would be great.
The system in Japan differs hugely from the systems we are used to in the West.
Yeah.
Yet the latest OECD global rankings for math and science place Japanese high schools in 4th place, while schools in the USA have slipped all the way to 28th. This could be a sign that the Japanese system is much more effective than we give it credit for.
I mean,
perhaps
I don't
American
think from besides the fact that you couldn't accessorize, I thought that was pretty cruddy. But other than that, I don't think they have any rules that like were really bad. I mean, the Kancho was pretty bad.
should also consider having swimming-centric lessons included in their teaching.
All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was kind of interesting to see a few of those things that you know, because you know, anime is not like the most accurate depiction of how Japan is, and it's really nice to see like different cultures represented. Especially like it's really important, in my opinion, to see stuff that's different from you, so you can appreciate what you have, and maybe even appreciate other people's culture, like. Because there's more out there than what you know. What was the philosophical quote? It was like a wise man truly becomes wise when he realizes he knows nothing, and I think that's a really important phrase to live by, because there's a lot out there in the world that you just don't know about. There's always more to learn, you know. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments down below. Give the video a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. The original link to the video is in the description down below. As always, if you want me to react to certain things, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I can be reached on Twitter and on Discord. Hit me up at the Discord. And I think that's about it. So, later.
BASS